You ready for this? You could be subject to a 10, $10,000 fine or up to 2 years in jail. What's up, everybody? Jared Seidenberg Pine Financial Group, where we work together to help you succeed. Coming to you here from the YouTube channel. If you found us on Facebook or you found us on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, drop some comments below. You're going to hear me say that a couple of times because we want to know what you think, what you want to hear, and everything else. I am trying to give you guys the content that is important to you. And in order to do that, I need to hear from you. So drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. We today are going to talk about something that is brand new for 2024. It's a law that was passed in Congress a couple of years ago. It just came into effect. And here, let me tell you the worst thing about this law, especially for us in the real estate world, is that nobody, I don't think, is talking about it. Now, I say that. That's a little bit hyperbolic. There are some people, I'm reading some articles here and there, and I've seen some things, but by and large, the people that are in my circle and the people that we're interacting with at Pine don't know anything about this, and it will impact, I think, almost every single person we do some business with, at least most of them, and a lot of people that I know that have rentals. And that's really what we want to make sure that we're giving information to you guys that help you in your careers, in your business dealings, and make you better, keep you safe. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I wrote some notes down, so if you see me glance down, you'll know that I'm reading some stuff because I want to get this thing right for you guys. But what we're here to talk to you about today is the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, that's an interesting thing, right? Because the corporate veil is somewhat intended to hide some transparency, and that's some of the issue here, right? Is the government is worried about the fact that when you form a company, an LLC, corporate entity, oftentimes in most states, you don't have to give any personal information. Now, you know who the registered agent may be. That could be a corporation service company, something like that. It could be an individual, but they don't always know who owns the company, and that's what they're concerned about. So the the Corporate Transparency Act, is intended to get to the beneficial owners of the company. The government wants to know who runs companies, and particularly in real estate, where some of these things are a little bit opaque by nature. You know, a lot of us that, when I was in private practice, a lot of us lawyers that are in this space intentionally try to put companies together to shield the owners from being revealed to the public to minimize liability and to keep the chance of personal liability and lawsuits down and some other things like that. So the government's worried about this. They have come in with this act. It's already been passed. It went into effect at the beginning of January 2024. Like I said, not a lot of people are talking about it, but it is intended to give the information to the government that they're looking for. So here's what we've got. You have to first be a reporting company. Now, that's whether foreign domestic, that's anything that is filed with the Secretary of State, any company that is formed through that type of regulation on the state level is going to be subject to this. That's almost all the companies out there are like this now. And so you have to give some information to the government, the company's name, the business street address, the formation jurisdiction, and then your unique business identifying number. Now, in my state, Colorado, every company has got a corporate ID. It's on the Secretary of State's website. That's what they're looking for. So that's what they want to do. Now, there are 23 exemptions under this law. I'm not going to go through all of them. You know, if you've got some questions about anything in particular, you can drop that comment. Like I said, I'll address them. What I'm really concerned about here is for those of us in the real estate community, there really are no exemptions that I can see that are going to apply to us, except for one, and I'll get to that in just a sec. But let me just give you a couple of big ones, just in general, so you have an idea of what we're talking about. So, tax exempt, you're not going to have to report. If you're inactive, now, inactive means the company was formed before 2020, and in the last 12 months, you didn't get more than $1,000, and you don't hold any type of assets. And that's an important one because I've had some people ask me, well, I've got this company, it's a holding company, I've got some land in it. I'm not doing anything with it. We're not making any money. We're just sitting waiting for entitlements or for economy or whatever it may be. Do I have to report? And the answer is yes, because you hold assets. So it's going to get a lot of us in the real estate community. It's the intention of it, guys. So don't be too surprised. And then here's another one that I think is really interesting. And I may do a deeper dive into this, but for this I won't. Um, but large companies, and what they're going to say is 21 or more employees, more than 5 million in gross receipts, and has a physical office in the United States. I find it interesting because it doesn't make a lot of sense, I guess, to say that large companies are exempt for this if they really want to know who the beneficial owners are, unless you consider that a lot of these large companies have other public filings. That's probably where they're going, but it's an exemption out there. So if you fit into that, awesome. You've got a big operation. That's sweet, and you don't have to report under this particular law right now. So here's the other thing. What you need to do when you do report this is give your beneficial ownership information. That's the stuff that they're looking for. So you're talking about the owner's name, birth date, their address. It can be a business address. I like that. Some of these things want only residential. This does have a residential or business address component to it. That's awesome. If you don't want to give up your personal address, totally get it. You don't have to. And then they want your passport number or your driver's license number, something unique to you. I think it's interesting that they're not, saying social security number. I think that qualifies, but it's just not specifically called out in the face of the bill. So they want to know who you are, where you live, when you were born. They want to know that they can actually pin that business on you, and get down to your ownership information. That's the intent here. So what you have to do now is actually submit these reports to the government. One of the problems is there's not a lot of companies out there that are doing this yet. A lot of registered agent services don't yet have a mechanism for this. So I will probably follow this up with another video explaining to people exactly how you comply with this. But the report does have to go in. There's some specifics there about what's going on. And then here's something else that's interesting. If you had a company that was formed before January 1st, 2024, you have a full year to comply with this. So your first filing is going to be at the end of the calendar year by December 31st, 2024. So it gives you a little time to figure this out. It is a law that's in effect right now, but reporting has a little bit of leeway here. So that's why we're going to talk to you about this now. I want to get out in front of you. Let's all prepare to get this thing done if our companies were formed before the beginning of 2024. I think that's good for everybody. If you form a company this year, you have 90 days to report your information. If you form a company next year, 2025, then you only have 30 days. So what they're saying is that as this rolls out, people get more comfortable with it. There'll become more mechanisms to do it. The procedures will be more standardized, and everybody will be able to access it. So they're going to ramp up let's say it this way, they're going to shorten the reporting timeline as the time goes on, so that people can actually get a head start on doing this. So here's the kicker, guys. If you don't do this, you ready for this? You could be subject to a 10 $10,000 fine or up to 2 years in jail time, folks, for not reporting your beneficial information, right? So this is important stuff. The government obviously wants it. And like I said earlier, the worst part about this is no one's really talking about it. So we are going to look at this as the course of the year. You'll have some reminders from Pine, I think, over the course of the year about needing to do this. It totally impacts everybody that's interested in this channel. If you're invested in real estate, if you're a beneficial owner, if you own more than 25% of a company, or 25% or more, I should say more accurately, of a company that holds these assets, you are a beneficial owner. You're going to have to report. So that gets into layering of companies and all sorts of other things. There'll be some complexity out there. Some lawyers will make a ton of money on looking at this for their clients. So this is out there, guys. It's something to be aware of. We're studying it on our side, but let me know what you think. I have some mixed feelings about this one, to be honest. I really think that knowing who owns these companies in some instances can be important. I get it. Transparency is good. It's one of our values at Pine. So I like that part. It feels a little uncomfortable to me, though. I'll be honest. This is a bit big brother, as they say, and is a bit intrusive into the ownership structures of companies that hold real estate and a lot of other things in this country too. So interesting place to be. Kind of wonder if it's a slippery slope. We'll find out. I know a lot of you might think it already is a slippery slope, already maybe halfway down the slope. But here we are, guys. Corporate Transparency Act. It is in effect right now. make sure you comply. Drop your comments below. Get in touch with us with questions, and we will be back to you with some more information. Thanks for joining me today, guys.